Hey, what's going on, everyone? I was checking out Ghost of Tabor last night. I figured I'd give my thoughts on the game. This recently just came out I think it's about a week ago. I believe it's still in beta, still. So, these thoughts are, really designed to go towards the development of the game. The developers decided to put the game out there. So, in some regards, this is um, not a final product, but they were happy with the state of it. So I feel like the criticism that I can offer is somewhat valid, since they decided to put this out there. So the first thing I really wanted to jump on with this game is, it's a Tarkov VR style shooter. And with that comes a lot of expectations, right? I mean, playing Tarkov myself, looting is a pretty easy method. It's drag and drop. Nothing too crazy about it. It's really quick and easy to do. However, when you transfer that over into VR, that is not the same. The first thing I really want to go over is just the looting system in general. You have to open different briefcases, ammo boxes, sort of shelves, whatever. And, that's fine and all, but it's just the way it's done. It's really clunky. Your hand has to be very, I have to say, like close to it. And sometimes it'll phase through or it just won't latch on. And, it just takes a lot of time. And if you play any looter shooter, especially like a Escape from Tarkov type game, you want to be looting as fast as possible and have your gun up, because the problem with this game, and I'll show some clips here, but you just spend so much time, opening your backpack, placing an item in the backpack. And that's another problem. When you place an item in the backpack, it doesn't necessarily give you the feedback that you need. So like you'll place an item in there and it'll fall off. And it'll just fall out of the backpack for no apparent reason. So I figured they really need to either make a system for slots in the backpack, maybe make that an option, or just make the backpack more conducive to just putting things inside and like giving it a little bit of a room for air, because you'll see I just drop things in my backpack. I think they're going to stay and then they don't. But I mean, it's just really placing items in takes time, and looting in this game almost feels like a chore when you kill somebody, because you're like, oh, am I going to get third party? And it's funny because that's exactly what I did to this guy. He was running down a hill and I just ended up following him. I saw another third party. The guy was looting and I just third partied him. So really, really easy to do. Doesn't take much skill, right? But you'll see in the clip I'll post later on. But yeah, I think looting needs a lot of work. Honestly, I think it needs the force pull, that you'll get in other games. Maybe not to a degree of like Bone Lab where you can just force pull things from far away, but like a semi, like if you're in proximity, force pull it, because I don't know, the looting in this game, it just doesn't transfer over to what you'd expect in VR. It's just a chore. And VR should be better than real life, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to actually physically like bend down, touch your floor. It's just really, really interesting. I don't know. If I was a dev, I'd change that pretty quickly because it's not conducive. Next thing I want to jump on, the gunplay. I mean, it's like if you're in close quarters battle, yeah, that's fine. Like the gunplay seems to be okay, but if you're shooting from a distance, there's really no feedback. So like I was shooting enemies across the street and you don't know if you're hitting them. So the feedback is really, I don't know, tough. So it's like, oh, do I have to get closer to engage? And, if you get closer, some of these enemies, that has good aim. So, which I appreciate because I don't want the game to be easy. But, I think, some of the gunplay needs better feedback on aiming and just, if you're pulling the trigger, you need to get some type of feedback or hit marker in somewhere. I'm not saying like Call of Duty hit markers, but there needs to be some type of response that says, okay, I landed that shot. Because shooting in VR, like it or not, it's not the same to shooting in real life. Some of it can be, oh, my barrel's, pointed downwards, but it looks like my sights are lined up. But yeah, I would really add some sort of feedback, so you're hitting the target. I really enjoy, overall, I really think the game has potential. I mean, it's just little things that make you annoyed to play. But, overall, the extraction portion of it's fun. I mean, there's a risk-reward component. You'll see I took out 2 guys with my AK in this little, trailer. And the guys had some really good kits. They had 2 ARs. One had, a sight and a laser on it. And you'll see I actually get killed, so I don't get to extract with it. But I was like, oh, man, if I can get these ARs back, this will help me out going forward. But, it didn't work out because I ended up getting killed. But, it definitely adds some, another layer of complexity to the game, which I really enjoy. So, I mean, that aspect of it's really fun. So, and I think if you have a buddy you're playing with, that'll make it even more fun. But overall, the game has some work to do. I would not call this complete in any state. But, I can see the potential. It's just, I don't know. It's a little rough. But, the game design's there and, it needs tweaked. I know it sounds like I have a lot of critiques of this game and, some of them are very fair and shouldn't be in a VR title. And I'm enjoying my experience in Ghost of Tabor when everything works and it's fluid. I think this is going to be one of those titles that might stick around for a lot longer than people think. The mechanics are there. They just need that refinement and finesse. And I think over time, as this game comes out of alpha, if the developers listen to feedback and do a really good job of, listening to the community and refining the looting system, improving shooting, this game could actually be one of those VR titles that's a must-have. It's got that element of, rewarding, looting, and, when you actually do extract, like I do later on in this video, it's a lot of fun. And you go back to your bunker and you go and put your attachments, guns, whatever you looted out of that raid back in your base. And then you can use those, in the next raid. So in a sense, there's a sense of progression. You can get better and better and better. So I think that's the element of coming back and being rewarded in the game. So overall, I'll probably post more gameplay in the future, but there's some things to work on, but, keep an eye on this game because I think it's going to be one of those games that, will be a must-have. So if you like this review, drop a like below. Let me know your thoughts if you've already played it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.